Throughout your travels across the Golden Isle of Immortals Fenyx Rising, you'll come across a great many different weapons to use in combat with the evil Typhon's minions. While each sword, axe, or bow will deal the same amount of base damage as any of its kin, every weapon has a unique skillset which makes them more powerful than meets the eye. Use this guide to learn where exactly to find the very best weapons in Immortals Fenyx Rising. And the best part is, they're all incredibly easy to find, and all very near one another. On this page, best weapons in Immortals Fenyx RisingBest swordBest axeBest bowBest PhosphorBest weapons in Immortals Fenyx RisingFenyx gains access to 3 primary weapons in the prologue of Immortals Fenyx Rising: a sword for light attacks, an axe for heavy attacks, and a bow for ranged attacks. Each weapon you'll find throughout the game will belong to one of these categories, but they will each also have 2 unique skills. One skill is active from the start whenever that weapon is equipped, and the other activates once you level up that weapon type to level 4 by spending Adamantine at the Forge of Hephaistos in the Hall of the Gods. Because of these skills, certain weapons are far more powerful than others, and there are some excellent synergies you can set up with the right combinations of weaponry. Below I've laid out one of my favorite combinations of the best weapons in Immortals Fenyx Rising, and the best part is that you can get all of these weapons in the same area of the Valley of Eternal Spring shortly after finishing the prologue. Best swordSwords have fast attack combos, and replenish stamina with every hit, but they deal less damage than axes. For this reason, I tend to use swords as a backup option when I've run out of stamina after my initial barrage of godly powers and axe attacks. The best sword in Immortals Fenyx Rising to prioritize early on is the Departed Shade. This blue blade gives you a significant damage boost for 6 seconds every time you perfect dodge, and at level 4, it creates 2 Stamina Orbs on hit with every sword sprint attack. The latter skill is nice to have, but the former damage buff makes Departed Shade about as great a sword as I've found so far in Fenyx Rising. Happily, Departed Shade is very easy to obtain. All you need to do is defeat the enemies at the guarded chest southwest of the Hall of the Gods, and open the chest. Take a look at the map below to see exactly where to find the Departed Shade sword. As mentioned, I tend to prioritize my axe and godly powers over my sword when fighting anyway, but the Departed Shade is a great backup option which gives me high damage while I replenish my stamina, and you can pick it up very early on. Best axeAxes in Immortals Fenyx Rising have slower attack combos than swords, but they deal more damage and inflict high stun damage, which is of great importance when fighting tougher enemies and bosses.